Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to another episode of RLP is Healing. It's me, your host, Tamala, the Holistic Weaver. And today I have a special guest joining me. And before I tell you about this guest, I want to say that this episode is truly an exciting episode for me because we're going to hear from a voice we often don't hear from on this podcast. A male healer. And this male healer is truly special to me. His name is Lucas. He's a spiritual practitioner, an artist, and a true lover of nature. His presence feels like a quiet stream in the woods. He's very intentional, very reflective, and he's nourishing to the soul. I met him on TikTok, and we automatically knew that we were fam right away. I'm honored to hold space for him today and hear his story. So grab your tea, light your incense, and settle in as we drop into a heart-expanding convo with Lucas. Lucas. Hey, Lucas. How's it going?
Good, Tammy. First of all, I just got to say, I almost started crying there. You carry that Gus, the guns, as you call it, God, universe, spirit, God, universe, nature, spirit. But that means a lot to me. And the reason why is because for a lot of time in my life, I didn't think many people loved me. And here I am talking to an individual that Gus sent my way and has always sent me what I needed when I needed the most. It feels good to have that recognition. And in that spirit, I want to recognize you for my journey with literally walking with spirit started about a year ago. And I had to come back to my parents, the same people that crushed me. And it's not because they necessarily meant to, but it's that legalism that happens within religion. Mm-hmm. And Gus wanted me to come back and face that because I couldn't build my life. I tried and I kept falling down. But in that journey and daily meditation, I stumbled upon you one day and I literally felt like I couldn't breathe in the world. And here comes Miss Tammy with the most beautiful soul I've seen in a hot minute. And you ignited me. You gave me love when I was literally at my lowest. So I want to recognize you first. Because sometimes we don't actually understand the profound effects that we have on another individual. So I love you.
I love you on purpose. Thank you so much, Lucas. And that's one thing that we don't see and we don't hear, or I don't even know. I think we're just leaving it at we don't see. I personally, because I look at it as, okay, this is what I'm here for. I want to help people. And part of my wanting to help people is to help lead people back to themselves, help lead people back to the God that is within them.
Yes.
The God that they are. And
in the temple. The actual temple.
In the actual temple.
The body of Christ, which would be you and everybody else.
Yes. Ooh, but first, let's take a breath. You already know how I am about my breath. So you guys, we are going to take just two.
Let me get fitted here.
Yes. 2 intentional breaths. We're just going to breathe in through the nose and feel that full expansion in the body. And slowly release. Let's do it again. Once more. Breathe in. And slowly release. So, Lucas, how is your energy today? How's your energy treating you today?
So, and I'm going to share this because, a lot of my content, it makes it seem as if like I just got it all put together. And I do, but not in the way that society says that we're supposed to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, my family is currently, and I know that this has happened to everybody in the world. It's the to prosper, not to harm thing, but everybody's going through it right now. And so tensions are high and there are arguments happening everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's so hard to stay in what Gus made me, which is a light. It's hard to stay in that when you're surrounded by that. So how do you change that, right?
Right.
Do you want to know how I do it?
How do you do it? Tell me.
I shake it off. Because the thing is I know that I've hurt people. And because I've hurt people, those people hurt people. So hurt people, right? The
Yes.
thing the thing is when do we get off of the cycle? When do we stop? I'm not religious, but I like what Jesus said. Turn the other cheek. And so there's been many a times in my life where I've had to turn the other cheek and sit with that pain. But it's not what goes into us that defiles it's what comes out of us that defiles us. So if I want to throw more hate out there, I'm going to get more hate back. And every day, specifically with what's going on in the world, it's hard for me to stay there. But in my weakness, I am strengthened. So that's how I do it. And the thing is I want my life to be put together. I deserve happiness.
Yes.
But I also know that everyone else deserves happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way we're going to get there is if we forego our hurt. And this is not easy to do, but we have to forgive that hurt that has been done to us because we understand somebody else hurt the person that's hurting you.
Yes. And that's where the meta. So, like lately, I've been doing the meta meditation regularly. And it's because, so meta is the meditation of loving kindness, to offer loving kindness to all. And that specific meditation style has what's helped me in my forgiveness journey, and it's been a beautiful thing. And, one thing I want to really get into is because, and you open this door up for it, is who is Lucas beneath the titles?
Girl, I knew you was going to ask some deep questions, and I'm here for it.
Oh, thank you.
So let me give you a backstory of my life before this moment. I always felt that I was alone from birth. Like I've always felt that way. Now, when I was a kid, literally, my mom would take me into the grocery store, right? And like people would just crowd over me. They saw this light, right? And I mean, they even referred to me as the Gerber baby. Like I looked like the Gerber baby, apparently.
Oh,
And day 3, I'm pulling myself up. And that right there is the foreshadowing of my life, is I would always have to pull myself up. And it's not because, God is punishing, God, universe, spirit, whatever you guys want to call it that, because it goes by many names, okay? Um, I'm not religious, and God does not love what has happened in his name. So just know that. Um, but anyway, so, starting off young, I had to pull myself up. And I watched my family struggle with everything, anything you could think of. And I'm sure you've probably experienced it. Anybody else that's watching this, you've experienced something. Um, and when I got to about the age of 13, I knew, like, I already felt different, but then I'm like, I'm different. And I grew up in the church. So I had to carry this shame and this guilt because God doesn't love gay people or trans or whatever. That's what I was told. I was told that's the abomination. But you know what? God only says there's 6, no 7 abominations.
Mm-hmm.
And it all starts with a haughty look.
Yeah.
It's that I know more than God. That's that mentality. So, I had to kind of struggle with not even accepting me, but just having God accept me. Do you know how hard it is to live? And I know you do, to live life and feel like God doesn't love you. And
Yes.
this is the illusion that we're all under. And it's
Mm-hmm.
because of the sin of the father of the father. It's the generational curse. It's because of the traumas they went through. They project it onto you.
Yes.
And we're now in a time, and you see this, we're in the awakening. It's here, honey. There ain't no stopping it now. Um, which is good because I'm tired. I'm sure you probably are too.
Yes.
You're out there being a cheerleader when you yourself struggle every day, just like I do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so, I had this impression that God didn't love me. I got kicked out at the age of 17. Um, my dad will tell you it's because of weed and Jack Daniels, but it had everything to do with my sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
And that broke me. That broke my spirit. I died that day. I died because from that point forward, there was no spirit. There was nothing left to me. I was literally devoid. My family had been stripped. God itself had been stripped from me. That was
Mm-hmm.
the illusion that I bought into. And along my journey, I would see people kind of like you, who have struggled so much and found some light. Might not be all of it yet, but they're not giving up.
Yeah.
Even when you have given up, because I have a couple times.
Oh yeah. The give up, I think the give up game is very, very prevalent in a lot of our lives,
It
kind of
is.
going back to the being in a space of not feeling like you are loved by others or that you're even loved by God. Especially I grew up, my dad was Catholic, but he wasn't practicing. My mom is Southern Baptist, and they were both very open. Like my dad, he didn't go to church. My mom said, "Oh, you don't have to go to church to have a
You
relationship
don't.
with God." And I realize that now. But
Hmm.
when we look at society uses, even there are pastors, I'm an ordained minister. Um, I'm not religious. I am a spiritual. So I refer to myself as a spiritual minister. And I have seen pastors, we've all seen pastors that use the word of God to kind of excuse behaviors, like saying that, oh, women are supposed to be seen and not heard. And they're like, well, the Bible says that. Where? I did not know that. I did not know the Bible said that. And so leading into that, and we're talking about God and everything, but I really want people to know that, like I said about your videos and stuff, like you see Lucas in nature all the time, y'all. So I'm gonna go into, like, what role did nature play for you in the early years? Like, did it help shape your path?
You just asked so many good questions. So, and this is literally still relevant to this moment because I've never felt like I belong or that there was things going on in the house. I ran to God.
Mhm.
God is not housed by anything made by man's hands. It's housed here. We're the temples. And what better way to experience him, or it, I should say, because it's not a gender, but what better way to experience that than to be in his creation?
Right?
You
Oh, I
know?
love this. I
And
feel like
so,
you're just right with my questions.
oh, I totally am. Well, it says this in the Bible. Do not fear what to say, for essentially the words are going to come to you, right?
Mhm.
Doesn't mean that I didn't have anxiety before this, because we all do. But that just means you're going in the right direction. But no, literally this kind of journey, not to get into I just wanted people to understand that I literally have walked a lot of this by myself.
Mhm.
God always sent me help exactly when I needed it. He sent me rest when I needed it. I mean, I have things that have manifested out of nowhere, and that's just what has happened for me. And it's because God has seen every tear. God
Mhm.
knows that I was broken. God looked at me as an orphan because my parents, due to that legalism, it's about being blinded.
Mhm.
We put the scales over our eyes, we put judgment onto our eyes,
Mhm.
and all we're doing is passing judgment back and forth.
Yep. That's
So
exactly.
when do we get to realize that we're not the judge and jury?
Yeah.
We are supposed to be here for the lonely and the brokenhearted. And there was a time in my life where I was like, God, I know there's something out there. Why is this happening to me?
Mhm.
Why? And he would give me reprieve as needed. It's not that I haven't enjoyed my life. I've had many joyous moments throughout my life, even in the middle of the storm. But this very last time, and I lived in Oregon for 11 years, and I love Oregon. You want to talk about being connected with God? There is so much beauty there that you cannot not see God everywhere you go.
Right.
And you can feel it in the energy of the people because they're in connection with nature, with God. And so, anyways, I've had like 3 failed relationships, aka the inheritance that I received from my family. I learned what not to do, right?
Mhm.
It's all about understanding uh, there is a better way to do this, Lucas. Now, I've tried to build a life numerous times, but every time I was building that, I was trying to build a house for me and mine. I was building it on false foundations. I was building it on sand.
Mhm.
I was building it under the illusion of love is conditional.
Yeah.
And God literally 100% jobed my ass. I got jobed. He took the house, the dog, the car. I didn't have any goats, but if I had those would have been gone too.
Mhm.
But in order for me to really see what was going on, I had to remove the distraction. I had to do that. Um, and this is cool too. Since walking with Gus this last, however year or whatever, I've watched him provide everything that I need and the things that I truly desire. Now, not all of my desires have been met, but I know that I still got to do stuff
Mhm.
for, I need to share. It's about that testimony.
Yes.
And the thing is I know that some people will look at my content and they're like, oh God, there's another happy freaking person. That's what they're thinking. But what they don't know, what they don't understand is most of my content is emotional processing. When I do music, movies, or even sound clips, that is me connecting with emotions that I threw into a freaking box and locked it up, right?
Yes.
So how do
Yes.
we deal with it? Specifically, how can we deal with it if the people that we need to work through that with won't do that. That's why God gave us music. That's why God gave us art. That's why we are from the Creator, so we can create. And when we tap into that, that's where the magic happens.
Oh,
But
yes.
not
That
only did it
there.
not only did it help me to process those emotions, but it showed me that my voice is important. I am welcomed in any space I walk into. Be weird, be wild, be bold. It doesn't matter. This is all an illusion anyways. And because of the start of my life and walking through that wanderland, that hellscape, that's the only way that any of us are going to get here. You know, Jesus, what he was really telling us is that we have that connection. We're the Tower of Babel that got knocked down, and we got knocked down because we chose conditional love. And so Jesus was trying to let everybody know, hey, the Pharisee, aka religion, they are essentially stating, in order for you to be forgiven, you got to come to me, another human who has not worked through their stuff. And I say that boldly because if you look through all of humanity, you'll see conditional love everywhere. You will
Yes.
see little bright lights such as me and you, who God shows us conditional love so we can choose unconditional love. And when we change that mindset of why is this happening to me and why is this happening for me and humanity, girl, we gonna be walking in heaven, all of us, right?
I truly believe that. I truly believe, when I look at the idea and the thought of unconditional love, it starts with us. For us to be able to give unconditional love, non-judgmental love, all that stuff, we have to start with us. And as we fill our cups, it overflows to our family, our friends, and even strangers. Yet I digress, but you did say something, and this is why I'm going right into this.
Let's do
You're
it.
talking about creating. And one thing that I talked about in the beginning is about you and your creativity and your art, which is a beautiful passion, guys. I will make sure that I link Lucas's TikTok into the blurb at the bottom so you guys can see it and find him. Lucas, when did you discover your inner artist? Because when I look at the art that you do recently, and maybe like we're friends on TikTok, so I see your stuff all the time. And so this
I
may
know.
have been something that you've done in a while. How do spirit and creativity dance together for you? Because you did this amazing art piece that had items from the earth on it. And it developed this beautiful, as far as I remember, mountains. I saw mountains, and that's because mountain ranges are my jam. So I always draw into that. Let's think about how you and spirit get into this thing together.
So, picture it, Sicily, 1912. I've always been creative, but because of my ego, I call them mosquitoes, because they want to just zap everything that God gave us, right? But because of those mosquitoes, how do you start when you don't even feel confident? When you don't even have the voice, right? So, and hold on one second. Nature's just like, hey, I want to be in your view. I had like a spider crawling on my glasses or something. But I've always had this desire to create. And there has been very small instances through my life where I created, but I didn't create. It was only through my self healing, forgiving the Judases in my life. But forgiving those who have betrayed me, regardless if I was even going to get an acknowledgement. Because at the end of the day, if they're not paying my bills, I pay them no mind. Meaning, this is me. I am sovereign from anybody else. I have free will. You have free will. They have free will. But that doesn't give somebody the right to step on my free will, right? And so learning that's not fun. Because constantly I would be reminded of things that I knew, but it's kind of like this. When you go to learn a new dance, you don't know it right away, but you keep practicing, right? Until it becomes muscle memory.
Yes.
And so that's kind of what people are experiencing right now. This is how we should move. Does that make sense? So if we're not moving in the ways that we should be, this is as simple as it gets. Unconditional love. That's as simple as it is. But it's not simple. And that's the kind of the catch-22 in it. But coming back to the place where my heart was broken, and I saw how broken my parents' hearts were, connected to my suffering. That's how I was able to give them grace, because God had given me grace the whole entire time that I stepped away from everyone. And through that process, it finally got to a point, and I don't know really how to describe it, but something ignited in me. It was a spark. The spark of life itself. And that's the connection with Gus. That's what Jesus is talking about. And so when we understand that God does love us unconditionally, we establish that connection. We get to paint with all of the colors of every rainbow and any universe, paint, whatever. We get to weave that dream.
Yes.
We get to do that. And the thing I want everyone to know, it's in you. It's in everyone else too, because you're from the Creator. You're my sister. You're my family. And so is anybody else. Does not matter your race, your sexuality. None of that matters. This is the channeled song I'm getting right now. Nothing else matters. Because, I mean, that's the rock of it all, is it not?
Right? I just started singing the song. Oh, Queen.
I gotta warn you, I have the ability to get earworms stuck in people's head. I literally commented on somebody's post earlier today, and they were talking about walking. Like they were stepping outside of their fear, and they went and did it. And so I always show up. I'm always like the secret little cheerleader in the background, right? And this is all I did. I will walk 500 miles, and you will continue to walk 500 more. Because that person is stepping outside of that fear. That's what we should be celebrating. We shouldn't be celebrating how many followers we have and, oh, look at how successful I am. Because I'll tell you what, anything that I've built physically in the material, it's all gone. It's all gone. But I wouldn't change that for the experience that I'm having right now. I wouldn't. Am I still struggling? Yes, I am. But I know, and I have hope, because hope floats. I'll share you what Gus shared with me a while ago. We are Pandora's box. We are Pandora's box. Box was actually mistranslated. It actually was supposed to be vessel, Pandora's vessel. So through all of our conditional love, we have spewed out sickness and disease, all those things, right? But the only thing that's left in all of us is hope. Hope was the one thing left in Pandora's vessel. God left that there for us so we could find our way, so we could wake up. And the thing that I want everyone to know right now, please understand what we're experiencing. While yes, we are a part of it, don't get this twisted. This started a long time ago. We're paying for all of that. And the moment we wake up and realize that this is because of conditional love, we're going to sit here. We're literally, everyone talks about the timelines. God stopped time. Nobody is living right now. However, those who have long suffered, who have bared their cross.
Welcome to a message from our sponsor, RLP Holistic Wellness. Are you someone that has a challenge with meditation? Or are you someone that's been looking to get started in meditation? Well, this is the place for you. RLP Holistic Wellness has a playlist of 21 meditations that are 5 minutes each. Each meditation is to help you go deeper, get more connected to yourself, and bring you back to you. Now let's get back to our episode.
I apologize about all of my little interruptions. I'm here in the little bitty town of Prague, Nebraska, with no reception. So thanks for bearing with us, peeps.
Yes, thank you, beautiful souls, for hanging with us. Lucas has had some technical difficulties, but guess what? We are back and jamming. So, Lucas, what has it been like being a man in a spiritual and healing space? So we hear from men all the time in the space and everything, but I feel like there is this heavy masculine that has been going on in the journey, in the healing growth journey. So I want to get your perspective though of what it's been like.
Which honestly, I think this is like a prime example, because all of mankind, all men have been taught, they have the inheritance of the, men aren't supposed to feel. They're supposed to be strong. They have to carry all the burdens, whatever it is. It's that conditional love. And through that comes anger and resentment and disrespect, because that individual is not connecting to a part of them. We're two-spirited, y'all. Like, there's a duality. There has to be that masculine but feminine quality in all of us. Now, as far as like, because I'm going to bring this up, non-gender, you're already operating in that duality. Nobody's excluded here is what I'm trying to get at. But, as a gay man growing up in religion and legalism, when I realized I was gay, I was no longer a man, number one, because that's pretty much what I was told, and I knew that there was something above us. I knew, God existed, but why is this happening? And over the course of my life, I have seen men who truly, they want to open up, and they have safe space to do that with some people. They do. But what they're afraid of is if I do this, then I'm weak. But doesn't God strengthen us when we're weak? Isn't that how we show compassion that God shows all of us, whether we see it yet or not? But trying to work through the fact that you're gay and you're not a man. But I am a man. I identify as a man. And that, I didn't know whether I was gay, bisexual. I didn't know if I was going to be trans. I didn't know what was going to happen, because I was told that, if you exist in this, then you have to be these things. Somebody spoke onto me their expectation. And so walking through hell, walking through darkness, trying to, with only hope left in me, you know, and seeing men like manly men, because I have this way with people. I just do. I can get a burly old man to soften and open his heart. And it's because I meet them where they're at. I don't try to change their belief. It's not about changing belief. It's not by spirit. It's not by force, or it's not by strength and not by force, but by spirit alone. And if I'm actively trying to change somebody's mindset, that might not work. But if I use humor or I use my story or whatever it is, there's spirit in that. And when somebody else can reflect at a hurt level, you know, in those moments where they have died by spirit, they are more open to listen. And it goes to a Teddy Roosevelt quote: people don't care what you know until that they know that you care. And so to any straight cis man out there, please, for your peace and the peace of anybody you come in contact with, open up. Find somebody to open up to. Your voice is important. You are stronger by acknowledging that there's areas of opportunity. It's not failure. It's an area of growth. When you see that, then you get out of it and then you help everybody else around you. That goes back to the, once your cup is filled, it will flow to every single person and you can't even stop it.
And you
So,
know it.
any straight man out there that is looking for guidance, find it. There are so many different resources out there. If you have questions, I'm sure you have a comment section on here, right?
Oh, we most definitely will have people will be able to comment. And also too, you guys already know how I love to do it is I will put it up on our social media platforms. So you will see this on TikTok, you will see this advertised as well on Facebook, RLP, Holistic Wellness LLC, and you'll see it on YouTube. So you're going to see this on YouTube as well.
You're going to see it everywhere.
Every area. And, you know, Lucas, I think it's so powerful to witness men like you showing up with tenderness and depth. It really balances the field, you know, because most of the time we just hear a lot from women. And, you know, what would you say? Because I want to get into this because a lot of men don't do the stuff, you know, the healing holistic stuff. And like, do you have any daily rituals that you do to keep you aligned? Because I think a lot of men are walking around out of balance.
They are 100% out of balance. And I want to say this to you guys: you're not screwing it up. You only know what you know and what you were taught. I mean, that started before us. And I'm saying this because if you can understand that the reason why we're going through this right now is because of everything that came before us, it takes the pressure off of you. And that's important. You can't help, RuPaul says it great. You can't help nobody else, honey, until you help yourself. Or no, RuPaul says you can't love anybody until you love yourself. And love is not something we should be afraid of, but all of us are afraid of. And the reason why is because the love we think we deserve, in that phrase, it tells you right now, that is conditional love.
Yeah.
We think that we deserve. I don't know about you. I deserve love. I know that, Tammy, you deserve love. Anybody watching this, you deserve love. All of your family, everybody walking this earth that has ever walked this earth deserves love. So don't stop yourself from getting that love that you need. It's okay. It's okay to say, I'm lost, because you know what? I got a secret. You can't find yourself until you've been lost.
And that right there. I've
And
got
girl, I have been
one.
lost.
Hey, you know what? I feel that it's something that a lot of people are scared to admit, especially I really believe that practitioners, so spiritual, holistic, pastors, rabbis, I believe everyone that is in, yoga teachers, all of that, that people don't realize that we are human. And so we as practitioners as well, we have a purpose. Our purpose is to help people lead them back to themselves and help lead them back to themselves, lead them to God, universe, nature, source, creator, however
However you want, whatever. Yep.
you view it, to lead people back. And so my last question for you today is, if the world could pause and receive one truth from you right now, what would that be?
Give me a second.
Here I am dropping questions that are gonna be, gonna make you think. I love to do the thinking.
I would say that the reason why we don't ever reach out when we are really hurting is because we believe that God only loves us conditionally, and that's not true. And so if you have that mindset of, I'm not deserving, I am not worthy, I have, cheated on my spouse, I have done whatever it is, you can't get the help that you need. Here's the thing, and this is why religion has hurt so many people, is when we have that mentality of you have to do this to be this, that takes away the grace. It wipes it away. And now you're operating under a false pretense, which is you will only have a connection with God if you can follow all of these rules that God even says in the Bible nobody can follow. It's a constant reminder of our shortcoming. But when we recognize that we have fallen short and we get down and we ground ourselves and we stop with all the distractions and listen, you don't know what you're going to hear. You think that God's going to judge you. You think that God's going to say, how dare you do this? If that's the voice you're hearing, peeps, that's your ego. That is your ego. That is not God. There's a reference to this in the Bible. My rod and my staff, they will comfort me. The rod and the staff is a reference to Job. God was the staff. And Satan, as everyone calls it, that was the rod. And there's an old saying where, beat the child, spoil something with a rod or whatever, which I don't like that saying. But it's that same kind of concept. Our ego is designed to prosper us, not to harm us. It's to remove conditional love. And the only way you can do that is you have to love yourself unconditionally and love God unconditionally. And through that, you will unconditionally love the rest. And that, my dear, is how we break this generational curse. And it sucks. It does. I know people like it. But the thing is victory was already established before this moment right now.
And
So if you don't think that you're not going to drop the ego, leave that behind you, tie that up, throw it in the trunk. Because we riding with God today. We ain't riding with that. God builds me up. He don't tear me down. The only thing he tore down in my life was falsehoods, was a house built on sand. There was no solid foundation in my temple. So please, people, do this for you and do this for everyone else, because by you doing you, everybody else gets to do them too. So.
Yes. Thank you, Lucas, for your presence, your spirit, and your art. You remind us that healing doesn't always look loud. It can be quiet, like moss growing on a stone, or even a brushstroke on a canvas. To those listening, I invite you to slowly move today. Touch the earth, pick up your pen or paintbrush, and listen to your breath. Now, one thing that you can do to find Lucas and connect with his work, make sure you look at my show notes and check out those links. So, guys, until next time, and remember, your path is sacred, your voice is needed, and your healing matters. So, this is Tamala, the Holistic Weaver, and guess what? I'll see you next week. So, peace, love, and happy healing.
Love you all until we talk again.
Yes.